So, welcome everyone to this next episode of the Body Harmonics podcast. I'm Renee McLaughlin, and oh my goodness, wait till you guys listen to this episode. I just know you're gonna love it. Now, look at my guest, Joan Castellano. Did I say your name right? Okay,
You
thank you.
did.
Sure. And you can see she's laughing. And why is she laughing? Because Joan is a laughter yoga facilitator. Facilitator, is that what we will call it?
Technically, the word is laughter yoga leader.
Leader. Thank you. I knew there was a terminology.
Yes.
So, you guys, okay, I met Joan because she had asked for a little bit of help with some movement. And we just started, to talk and share what was going on within us. And she said, "Oh, Renee, I teach laughter yoga. Or I lead laughter yoga." And I like, I have heard this term laughter yoga. I've seen it around and I've always been fascinated. Like, what is this? And she started telling me a little bit about it. And you guys, I am so excited for you to hear about it because it's just fabulous. So, all that, Joan, I'm just going to let you kind of lead. If you will, can you kind of just share with us sort of where you were at a little bit before you found it, how you found it, what happened, and then just wherever you want to take it. We'll just
Okay.
kind of chat about it.
Sure. So, for about 20 some odd years, I worked in colleges. I was a administrator, mostly in admissions, in New York City and also in California. And I have my master's degree in higher education administration. And I was, let's see what happened, the timeline. I actually lost my job. I had this amazing job at an acting school for 10 years, and a lot of people were being let go. There was a big change there, so it was a very sad time. And I had found out about laughter yoga, and I had been going every other week. There was a class in New York City, and I just loved it for the stress relief of it. And during this transition in my life, the woman said the woman who ran this class in New York City, she said to me, "Why don't you train to become a laughter yoga leader?" And I was like, "What? Like, why would I do
Is this
that?"
a
Like,
thing?
yeah, I enjoyed going to the classes, but I was like, "Why would I do that?"
Yeah.
And I always find it fascinating, like people ask you a question and it changes your whole life sometimes. It's very fascinating. That's happened a lot of times. So fast forward. Um, I decided to enroll in this course in New York City called, it was a certificate program in positive psychology. It was a year-long program. The woman that ran it was a laughter yoga certified person. I learned the most incredible amount of new information in this year-long program. And at that time, right as the program was ending, I was also getting certified to do the laughter yoga in 2013. I had no idea what I was going to do with it. I worked in higher ed, even though I lost my job. That was my life. And little by little, things change, opportunities come around. Um, in this positive psychology program, one other thing I learned, I had never been married. I was in my mid 40s at this point, just living my life, traveling, working, having boyfriends, whatever. I came across a book in the positive psychology program called Calling in the One, like how to find the love of your life. Game changer. I read this book at the same time I finished the laughter yoga training, and I think about it now, it was like total synchronicity because the laughter yoga training changed my energy.
Right.
Reading this book changed my energy. The two things collided. I met a man in a park, a married man. I saw his wedding ring, and I'm very friendly. The laughter yoga changed my energy. I was putting out a whole different vibration, and I struck up a conversation with this man. I was walking my dog. And I said, I got an instinct in my gut. I remember going, am I really going to do this? And I said, this guy knows nice people. Let me ask him. And I said to him, I'm looking for a nice man who's funny, smart, and kind. Do you know anyone? I remember like the feeling in my belly, like, really, you're doing this? And he said, yes, I do. Long story short, he told me all about this man, and that man's now my husband.
That is such a
And
blowaway, fabulous
I
story.
I just tell you this because how does this relate? It's all like you and I were talking about the work we did together. It's all energy and vibration. I'm one of those people because I vibrate highly. Like I feel what other people feel. Babies and children lock eyes on me all the time and like look at me. Dogs come up to me. I give off that kind of energy. But this laughter yoga, I was just fascinated by it. I loved going to the classes. When the woman said, "Do you want to do this training?" The guy was actually offering the training at a discount if you were unemployed. I was like, okay, it's only $100. This is 2013. So I went and did the training, had no idea what I wanted to do with it, made some new amazing friends from it. That's been a life changer, the people you meet through this laughter yoga. Fast forward, at the same time, I'm dating this man. We're deciding to get married over time, da 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 da. Like that's a whole nother story. So I never really did too much with the laughter yoga. One of my friends that I met kind of took off with it. I kind of helped her, dabbled in it. One day, my husband's sister said to me, "Would you like to do this for my rosary group, 30 women?" And I said, "Sure." She said, "We'll pay you." I said, "Great." This is now 3 years later. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm a very confident person, but I'm thinking to myself, I don't even know how to do it. So I go home, I read my brochure that they gave us. I read the brochure, I write down a whole plan, I get totally organized, I buy some equipment, I go, and it was fantastic. They loved it. From there, it took off. That was 2016. I got my bearings, I got confident about it, and I'm really good at networking and talking to people. And so I would just keep putting it out there. I was still working in higher ed. At this point, I had moved, I got married, I left the New York City area, but I was putting it out there constantly. I was offering free sessions, getting my own kind of muscle memory, learning how to do it and feel confident getting in front of people, sharing it. One thing just kept leading to another. And in 2018, I decided to get certified as a certified laughter yoga teacher, which is a whole different level. And now I teach people to become laughter yoga leaders. So I've taught about 100 people over the years. I was just raring to go, gung ho. I wanted to share this with the world. So then from there, it became my livelihood. One thing led to another. I knocked on a lot of doors, made a lot of phone calls, made a lot of connections. And now I do it in a lot of memory care
Oh,
facilities during the week. Oh, looking at your face,
it's
oh,
just
I could
so
tell you
good.
some amazing things, but so, I'll just tell you a few things. Like that's my main place that I do it. I mean, there's certain populations that I love. I love college age students because I worked with them a lot. I love working with the elderly. But this group, like they need it so bad because they don't really have reason to laugh. So I'll tell you a little bit about what laughter yoga is, but that's kind of the main population I do it with. And then maybe I'll share some of the experiences I have with some of these people. I'm talking a lot. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, so tell me about laughter yoga.
Yes,
Just,
I never told you what it is.
that's okay. Just that's what it is, but there's so much more to it.
Yes. So you'll see the lovelies behind me. That was at a laughter yoga retreat I just went to in Florida. Um, Laughter yoga was created by a medical doctor 30 years ago. He was doing research on laughter is the best medicine for research article. This is a regular medical doctor. And one of the things he looked at was how frequently children laugh, small children, on average, most on average, like a couple hundred times a day. They just laugh because they're playing, they're moving, there's joy in that, and they just giggling. They're not laughing because anything's funny, no jokes, no humor, no comedy, just laughing. Movement, playing, joy, right? So he looked at the statistics on adult laughter and it was somewhere like 4 to 10 to 15, the average adult laughs. And when the average adult laughs, it's like this, and it's done, right? It's not sustained, it's not hearty, it's not from the diaphragm. So you're not really getting that any of the benefits. So he kind of came up with this idea. It evolved. That's kind of a whole other story. You could research it online your own. But over time, how it kind of came to be. He had a little background in like improv and acting. So it became like a little bit of laughter exercises that you reenact like things in the real world. So the leader is trained to lead laughter exercises. But basically, in a nutshell, laughter yoga is intentional laughter that soon becomes real laughter because of the group cohesion, the contagiousness of laughter, the eye contact, being with other people, looking at the leader who's laughing a lot, like the leader has the energy and the command to get people to buy into it. And then it combines not just laughter the whole time, but it combines the deep breathing part from yoga. You want to get your blood oxygenated. It combines movement, subtle movements, a little bit of stretching. There's some rhythmic movements. There's some laughing sounds to help people kind of get comfortable with it. So it's this joyful experience of just being with others and releasing. What
Mm,
I find so fascinating about it is it's very cathartic. Um, yeah, when I went to one of the senior homes not that long ago, this one woman said to me at the memory care, I walked in, she goes, I said, okay, everybody, I'm here for laughter yoga. She goes, I don't want to laugh. And I said, oh, why not? And she goes, I feel like crying.
mm,
And I said, well, laughing and crying are it's a lot of the same emotion. And this woman's interesting because she says to me often when I get there, she goes, I don't like laughing. She's one of the most active people in the class. It's very fascinating to be with her. Yeah. But a lot of them, when they see me, they smile. If they see me in the hallway, they have like a conditioned response. They come up to me sometimes and they're like, are you the jokester? You're the jokester, right? Like they remember, you know? And they remember no matter what function they are, they remember like the rhythmic part of it because there's like laughter sounds and rhythm to it. So even the lower functioning people are still participating. It's kind of really unique. But I also do it with high functioning people in corporations for team building and just stress relief and things like that. Did I answer the question?
you did,
I get very
absolutely.
excited talking about it.
I love it. And you know, when I had way back when you and I were talking originally, and I had asked you like how does it make you feel? And you gave such a beautiful answer. And I'll tell you if you don't remember, just specifically because it really hit me how you
Mm,
answered. And you were basically like, you know, as you just started, and it is this, it's very mechanical at first. We like you can, you know, with the breath, etc., really get it up and get going. And you said then the gentleman, I think it was the gentleman that developed it. I'm not sure. You can clarify that. Was saying, so how does that make you feel? And you like checked in and you were just like, oh my God, it makes my heart just sing.
yeah,
Like, and I was like, I mean, how many of us have something they can do like that, that they can really tune in to the body and go, whoo, like that makes me feel joy,
yeah.
you know? And how many of us have just something simple like that, that we can absolutely shift our state from wherever we are at to
Hmm.
this open place of joy.
That's so what it's about. It's not meant to just be funny and giggles and laughter. It's meant to like shift that mood, change that energy, put all these feel good hormones into your body, change out the stress response, all of that stuff. I've come up with laughter yoga exercise as part of being in this field is you want to release stress from your own life.
Oh, yeah.
So the more you do it, the more you find things in your own life that are stressors and you find ways to just laugh through them. So one of them is I live in North Jersey near New York City area. It's crazy stress driving. I'm sure it is everywhere, but so I came up with a laughter driving exercise. And you just do it in your mind because you can't really do this driving. But instead of beeping, excuse me, instead of beeping at people and just, bad gestures, you pretend you're holding the wheel and you're like ho ho ha ha ha. So you're doing the laughter sounds and you're waving to people. So I don't get upset in the car anymore. I used to feel that rage and that tension and that anger. And the other day I'm with my husband and my husband's in the car. And when I trained people, he came the first time I ever did it just to
Oh,
support me.
nice.
So
Yeah.
he knows the whole thing, but it's not his thing. But he knows the whole thing. And we're in the car together. And this is how my husband is in the car. Oh, that guy behind me. Oh, and I said, honey, don't even look. Oh, he's doing this. Why is he following? He constantly is like, everyone around him, what are they doing? So I said, honey, just laugh. And sometimes he'll go, ha ha and not really laughing, and
Right.
he goes, but Joan, it's not funny. I don't want to laugh, it's not funny. I said, honey, we're not laughing because it's funny, we're laughing because it's stressful and we need to release that. Suddenly he couldn't stop laughing. It clicked for him. He was suddenly like and he couldn't let it for like a minute. He was laughing. I was like, finally, years later, he gets it.
That's just so, I mean, that's just so big. I can't even begin to state how big that is because we know, especially as children, and we can see those children in there and how fabulous it is with them. We have things that happen to us that we have no context for and no way to process emotions, whatever they are, through our body. And that's when they get stuck, right? And
Mm.
then that issues in the tissue kind of thing, whether that's true or not. But we know that emotions that are not processed through the body, digested at the time, are there in our fascia, and they will be from an energetics. They're resonating at a certain frequency. So just to continue on with what you just said, because I love this whole idea of what happened with your hubby. It's like he's not really processing. What he's doing is just being angry, right? And
Yeah.
that's okay, because as an adult, he was actually probably
Yeah.
processing that to some extent, but it's not really completely processing it through. But by switching to that, it's mechanical, it shifts, but it also shifts the frequency. And that's the difference, right? So
Yeah.
it takes it from that driver anger place, which is, let's just say here, to here, as it allows it to process through the body. I mean, there's so much to what you're talking about. It's just
You
freaking
just,
amazing.
I constantly get ideas, creative ideas. And as I'm listening to you, here's my idea. I just read the Reader's Digest yesterday, how in the July issue, how beyond insane our accidents are in this country. They said ever since the pandemic, the rates of aggressive driving have gone through the roof. There's no end in sight.
Interesting.
And yeah, they said the people aren't wearing seatbelts, they're intoxicated, they're aggressive, and they did simulation exercises and all this. So as I'm listening to you and just my husband's experience, I'm like, you know what?
Just
I'm going to DMV and I'm telling them this needs to be on everybody's driver's license. They need to go through laughter yoga training, even if it's just 10 minutes.
but it is fascinating. And again, really, you can just, you can just do it. And it is mechanical and it's contagious, kind of like
Yes.
yawn. Like when we see somebody yawn, if we're at all empathetic, if we're at all an empathetic person, we will immediately yawn. When you
Yeah.
see somebody laughing, laughter is also contagious, is it not?
Yes.
And it just
Yes.
starts and you almost can't stop it, and then everybody's laughing and it's a community thing, and it just
Yes.
and that energy is just spiraling up, and
Yeah.
it's just such a beautiful
I was thinking a little
connection.
bit before, we met, like what we're going to talk about, because I'm usually out there doing it. I talk about it a little bit, right? I don't talk about it that much unless I'm doing a training. Um, and I was thinking about that, like, because as the leader, you have to put a lot of energy out there to get people to buy in because they have to be vulnerable to laugh for no reason. So the leader has to be quite vulnerable and really, get out of their own way and their own ego and just put it all out there. And it's hard when you're new at that. But
Yeah.
I have some new people I just trained, And a lot of people I trained, maybe they do something with it at their job or with their family, but they don't fully launch it into the world, and that's okay. Everyone's doing something different with it.
Right.
But I have two new people. I just did a training. I do my trainings at the end of May, and these two new people are putting it out there. So they just did it the last 2 weekends, and they put it on Facebook, and the one woman wrote, I can't believe like what an amazing feeling this is to have these people laughing with me, and the joy and the and how whatever word she chose, and I'm like, yes. Like now she feels it. Like you can't describe what that is to be the leader and have people laugh with you. I just did this for a corporation for 500 people. I was up on a stage on an elevated platform. Could you imagine the endorphin hit I had? It was only
Wow.
20 minutes, but I had that feel good endorphins for weeks to have
Wow.
500 people laughing with me. It's incredible what it
It's
does for you.
incredible. And isn't it interesting? Gosh, Joan, I just find this really fascinating. And I know it's true for myself as well. Um, that our default, human brain default is always negative,
Oh,
always finding the negative. It's our default. So, you would think that being negative because it doesn't feel good would not be what is our default, but it is. And
yeah.
so to switch it and be like positive and fun and alive and excited and laughing is so hard. We're afraid to let people see that we're happy.
Yeah.
That's so bizarre,
Yeah.
really, but it's
Yeah.
so true. When you understand psychology and neurology, that's just what it is.
We learned that in the positive psychology program. They showed a spiral about how one negative thought, sorry, my finger goes
No,
out,
that's fine.
just pulls you down like, and those negative thoughts, like you got to catch it right away because they just spiral into this little hole. And so it's
Yeah,
a tricky situation. Yeah.
it
But a
really
practice like this, if like once you get it into your body and your like muscle memory, I just find ways all the time, like, okay, this is stressing me out. Like a couple years ago, I took my dog for a walk, and someone had their dogs off leash, like they weren't even watching their dogs. And I just very nicely said, "Oh, could you put your dogs on the leash?" The guy like must have had some kind of issues, and he went bonkers on me. So I just felt that, oh, that surge of like, that whole body
yes.
surge of
Oh yeah.
scariness. And I grabbed my dog. I walked like 20 or 30 feet away, just like charging out of that park fast as I could. And I just let out the craziest, scary laugh as I was going, just to I needed that stuff
Yes.
out of my body. I just let it rip. Oh boy. Yeah. But like
Wow.
I've learned different, scenarios. You just got to let it go. I haven't had something like that happen in a long time where it was that intense, but it was a
Wow. And yet
scary,
you had this and you were just able to process that because that could have been a trauma that really affected you. You could have ended up with the flu, 4 days later. I
yeah,
mean, really, because all that does is take down your immune system, and who
yeah,
knows, right? And the anger really
yeah,
creates liver issues. I mean, it's interesting when you really go down that hole. Not that we have to do it, but it's just those higher frequencies have just um, so many things that they affect positively in that way for yourself, for the people around you, for the community. I mean, it's amazing how much just holding that higher frequency through that can make such a positive difference.
yeah.
Um, Now, I'm curious because in that picture in the background, there's hearts. Now, do I recall this that in these classes, you don't really talk?
Yes. So the only one really talking, that's a good question, is the leader, giving commands,
Okay.
so that people know, like the main thing a leader has to do is instruct people and give them commands. So you tell people, like, you give them a scenario, what we're going to laugh about, and then you kind of show it to them, and then you command them to do it. So it's almost like tell, show, do. So this happened to be a retreat for people who were certified laughter yoga leaders. Um, it was a weekend retreat in Florida a couple months ago. So they were, a lot of these people were sharing their techniques with
Oh, fun.
others. So there was probably a lot more talking, but I don't remember. This was probably a class. Um, think a bunch of these people in this picture live in Florida.
And the two like the lady in the red and the gentleman in the yellow with their hearts, and it just has such a, I mean, just looking at her face, it's just so fun, right?
Yeah.
We're playing. We're playing.
You were
And
playing. You
we're
know, the
playing.
girl in this picture is my 8-year-old cousin's daughter. So I guess like my second or third
Cute.
cousin. And she had so much fun. But one of the things I have on my website is I don't know how I kind of vaguely know how I got this. I said it's great for people ages 8 to 102. So I've been asked to do this before for a synagogue for like 60 kids celebrating Purim. I'm not
Oh, that'd be a
Jewish. I'm
great
not Jewish. I didn't even know what Purim was. I had to research it. I researched the whole story. I went and did the session.
one. Fun.
But then I've also done it for AARP for a group. And there was a woman there, I kid you not, she was 102, and I give people the option, especially the older folks, you can sit or stand, you know,
Mhm.
and she had a cane. She came up to the center with her cane. She threw her cane aside and participated without her cane the whole class.
Oh,
Most other people were sitting. I was just like, what is going on?
that's so wonderful. That's why she's 102.
Yeah,
She knows the importance of play,
yeah,
right? And Joan, don't you find, because this is something that's really kind of up in my face right now, um, how especially when you're into really helping people and you know, transforming and all that good, stuff and the spiritual stuff, we get so darn serious.
yeah,
Right? And it's always about that instead of really the healer is the lightness of being.
yeah,
It's the raising of the frequency. It's the joy. It's the play. It's the
yeah,
creativity. It's drawing and writing and cooking and gardening and right. And I think that's the part that we so need. That this
yeah,
is also, it's this permission slip to lighten the crap up. Let's
yeah.
laugh and do it together in community.
Yeah.
So there's
I think for
just,
people that struggle with that, as I'm listening to you, it's like just start small. Like one thing will turn to another thing, right? Just start
mm,
small, one little thing. If your self-talk is, oh, that's not me. Oh, I got too much work to do. Oh, I don't have time for this. Just start small because it could change for people, you know?
yes, that's
But you're so
beautiful.
right. I remember in this positive psychology, we had to learn about our own strengths. And one of mine was zest, like
Yeah,
zest
I
for
agree with
living.
that one.
Yeah. Another one was love of learning. I'm also a college instructor when I'm not laughing. Like I love learning new things.
Yeah,
So I encourage people too to like, do these kind of tests, find your strengths, become more self-aware, and then it will help you lead to more, creative pursuits. Even if you don't think, I never thought I was creative. I studied finance and accounting in college. How boring. And one day I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna hate my life. I love people. I'm gonna be an accountant stuck in an office. This is crazy. So I changed my major. Yeah, luckily I had that epiphany. I
yeah.
ended up getting a finance degree and then my first job out of college was working at a financial aid office in California. And I
Perfect. You
loved
combined
it.
them. How
I loved
perfect.
it. Yeah, because I'm like, I cannot be an accountant. I was good at it, but I was like, no way, no how is this going to be my life?
But it's so wonderful in that now, I think we have so many out of the box kind of opportunities,
Hmm.
right? At this point. In other words, you took two of your strengths and
Hmm.
married them where before it's always like, oh, we got the degree in this and it has to look like this, like we don't. I know for myself when I was going through like dietetics school, and all I could think about is, oh, I'm gonna have to like be in a hospital and work and put peaches in a little thing and tell people don't eat salt, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that. Like I didn't see that there was this huge whole thing that I
Yeah,
could do with it, right?
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
oh, I don't want to do that. So
yeah,
you did such a cool thing and put it together, and opportunity
yeah,
shows up. And the lighter that we hold ourselves, right, in
yeah.
energy and releasing some of that heaviness and trauma and pain and blah, blah, blah,
And
more
come to
stuff
think
shows up.
come to think of it, I'm a college instructor because the girl I met at the laughter yoga training is a full-time college instructor. And one day she emailed me and she's like, "Do you know anyone who wants to teach, whatever?" And I was like thinking, is she is she asking me? It was like a developmental course, like anybody with a master's could teach it.
Right.
I was like, is she asking me? So that changed my life too.
It's so
There
great.
were 30 people in the course. She became like my close friend. So
It,
one little thing, one little step in a direction of something you're passionate about it. These two things changed my entire life. These two little things, my life is so different. I would not have this life I have without those two little baby steps.
that's just so beautiful. And again, it just all comes down to taking the step, feeling it, lightening it up, doing
Trusting
laughter,
yourself,
trusting yourself. And
not being afraid, working through that fear, even if you're afraid, just going, let me just take one little step. Like thinking, I was afraid to ask this guy, do you know any nice guys? And I'm like, okay, just bite the fear. I remember that little pit in my stomach. Are you really going to do this? And I was like, sure I am. And I did it.
it could happen. He'd
What
say,
could happen?
no, crazy woman, and walk away. Right. That's so great, Joan. I love this. And you guys, I'm going to leave Joan's information in the show notes, wherever this is that you're watching this. And so if you have any interest, hey, Joan, do you teach trainers online, or is it
I
all in person?
I don't.
Oh,
So I'm gonna actually tell you a little bit about my beliefs on that.
beautiful.
Um, During COVID, the doctor who runs laughter yoga, he was hesitant to allow people to do it online because it's not really meant to be online. And then COVID lasted way longer than it was, and he started letting people do it online. He's still doing it online.
Yeah.
Someone came to my training recently because they did his training online and they still felt a little bit lost because online is a little different than in person. So this person just did his training in person online and then came to my training. Once you're trained, you can go to anybody else's course as a refresher. I did plenty of refreshers trying to just get my skills up. So I teach in person only.
Okay.
Um, because I don't enjoy it online. A lot of people do offer it, as weekly classes,
Mm-hmm.
and I love all these people in this picture, and I want to hang out with them. They live in Florida and Pennsylvania and other places, and every now and again, I go to their class online. I log off within 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I do not like being online. I don't feel the connection. I feel anxious. And I just feel
Mm-hmm.
like, why am I laughing at a computer? So that's my own experience. It's very rare that I will even accept someone, a company might call me and say, "Could you do online?" It's very rare that I'll say yes. Um, but I don't do it online. I do it in person. I live near New York City in northern New Jersey, and I do my trainings now only once a year. So it's always the last weekend in May. I have people that come from Georgia, Florida, North Carolina. Someone just
I
came from
bet.
Kentucky.
That's
So yeah, people
great.
people come, they make lifelong friends and connections, and it's a great
Beautiful.
way to just, obviously change up your own energy. And yeah, if it's something that interests you, look me up.
I would love
But
that.
anybody
Yeah,
else can find other people
to
that do
find
it
it.
online. Yeah.
Right, absolutely. And once you know, you can just do a search, but I'll make sure to have
Yeah.
your information on there too. So, Joan, thank you so much.
Oh,
This
you're
was
welcome. This was more
great.
fun than I thought because I don't really like being on the computer.
I'm mine.
Thank you, Renee.
Thank you. Thanks again. And you
All
guys,
right.
from here on, move freely, heal deeply, and flow with ease. Till
Yeah.
next time.
Beautiful. Bye. Mwah.
Bye.